Okay, guys, changes from the KR server. Today's video is all about preparing for the changes that have shown up on the KR server, okay? There's going to be a few things to focus on and a few things that I want to go over. I'm going to try to do these in a organized fashion, okay? I'm going to start from what I think is the biggest change and then talk about how that's going to affect what I'm going to do and potentially give you information so you can decide how you want to proceed. So let's get started. Let's dive right into it. Ugh, okay, biggest change number one is that I potentially wasted a bunch of money. Getting Cursed on Grudge Legendary Engraving Books is great, but Empress Grace, we might be moving to Empress Grace 3, or at least that seems to be a very good direction to go right now. Long story short, if you go Empress Grace 3, you should probably read your Legendary Engraving Books, okay? I've done a bunch of price checking. You could probably do this on your own server in your own marketplace to see what the price is going to be like. But my assumption is that for the most part, your Empress Grace accessories are going to be few and far in between and really expensive for either the quality that you want it at or the engravings that will be relevant for the build that you're going to be playing, okay? So where does that leave me? Well, I'm not super keen on investing on a third Legendary Engraving book that's going to replace one of the two Legendary Engraving books that I've already read. And also, based on the price in my marketplace right now, Empress is going for about 5k, okay, which means it's about 100k to max out. I'm not super excited about that prospect, okay? So, for my build, I'm probably going to be staying Adrenaline 2, Empress Grace 1. Okay, so that's point number one that we should think about. Point number two that I think is important is Barricade is kind of on the way out, okay? Barricade has been a good engraving for us because for Arcana, there are 3 skills that do the grand majority of your damage, and kind of it's no exaggeration when I say that, right? Almost all your damage is focused on 3 skills, and that's your 3 rune skills, okay? And so we were able to put protection runes on these 3 skills and get the benefit of Barricade giving us that 60% damage increase. But based on the direction that we're heading, they're changing the way that card draw works for Empress Arcanas, okay? The most important aspect of this is that they are taking this tripod on Call of Destiny, which we will use a lot. You're trying to keep Call of Destiny on cooldown when you're playing Empress Arcana. They're taking the quick draw tripod and they're nerfing the chance from 40% to 20%, okay? So it becomes less favorable to use this tripod, and in fact, we're going to be moving to another tripod on Call of Destiny in lieu of quick draw. We're going to be doing Dark Destiny because it's just not that appealing for us to use that. And then to couple that, we're moving Chain Attack to a new tripod that they're going to be adding that's going to change Call of Destiny to a stacking skill. So all things point away from us using Quick Draw. And then alongside a buff that is happening for Empress, they're increasing the amount of specialty meter that you'll gain from using your rune skills, popping 4-stack rune skills. We're going to gain more card meter off of that, okay? So the new world order is kind of, we put wealth runes on our rune skills, and because they won't have protection anymore, Barricade becomes a useless engraving for us. So instead, we're moving to Raid Captain. And the way that we take benefit from Raid Captain is through skills like Scratch Stealer and Safety Device to give us movement speed buff, and then Spiral Edge, which with Quick Pace, which also gives us movement speed debuff. So we'll be cycling these things to have movement speed while we're using our rune skills to gain the most out of our damage, okay? So Barricade changes to Raid Captain. That's the second big thing. And then we use Wealth runes on our 3 red skills. And then the last thing that I want to go over is there could be some tripod changes that we want to go over as well. So we're starting to move away from serendipity. And instead, we're going to use a newly buffed 4 of a kind. This rune skill here. And then the tripods that we want is Swift Prep, Card Enhancement, and Delayed Shock. Depending on what build that you're going for, you might want to do Swift Prep, Deception, and Delayed Shock, but my understanding is Swift Prep, Card Enhancement, and Delayed Shock is kind of what we want to do, okay? And that will replace Serendipity. So what does this mean for tripods that I'm tracking? Well, there's some additional tripods that I'm tracking right now, and I'm saving them in my inventory, and I'm saving the actual pieces in case I need to use them as fodder to put them onto my gear. But I recommend you track Dark Destiny, okay? And then I recommend that you track 4 of a kind, you track these 3 tripods. And if you want, track Deception as well. In terms of what that endgame build actually looks like and some of the rotations that you would want to utilize for those, there's a video out there that does far better than me by the Arcana player named Judao. I recommend you guys take a look at his channel, Jiudao. And he's an Arcana player on the Korean server, and he's done a lot of testing to try to like figure out where he wants to push his Arcana in the new Korean patch. And I think he has like some VODs uploaded that goes over a bunch of questions that people may have about the new Empress build, and then also the new Emperor build too. So I'll have that video link in the description, and you guys can read about things like rotations, the difference in Empress 3 and then Empress 1 Adrenaline 2, and how we want to change our skill setup and all that kind of stuff, and what are some viable builds to utilize. So he'll have all that information in his video. Now, personally, what am I going to do with my Arcana? Well, I spent a lot of Fions and gold getting my replacement things. So you can see here, I've got a necklace, earring, and stone. I spent a lot of Fions getting this ability stone, but I hit a 7-8, which is great. It means that I can get a 4-3 Raid Captain Grudge earring, and then I finish it out with a 5-3 Hitmaster Raid Captain necklace, and that's going to replace my Barricade engraving essentially. So if you look over on my equip side, Hitmaster 5 Barricade 3 is being replaced with Hitmaster 5 Raid Captain 3. And then Adrenaline 5 Hitmaster 3 is being replaced by, Barricade 5 Grudge 3 is being replaced by Raid Captain 4 Grudge 3. And then my ability stone with Hitmaster Barricade is just becoming Hitmaster Raid Captain. So when I put all 3 of these pieces on, I'm going to have level 3 Raid Captain instead of level 3 Barricade. And then everything else is basically going to be the same, okay? I'm not going to Empress 3. I'm not ready to invest 100k gold for that change yet. I'm going to see if this feels much worse or maybe even with the build. It seems like I'm banking on the fact that it could just be a side grade, because it's going to be very expensive for me to move to Empress 3. So I'm just not going to do it. Okay. I'm just not, I'm not about that. I'm not going to do that, okay? Okay, so I think that about goes over what I wanted to talk about kind of in general with the KR updates. I actually think that it's going to be kind of fun to get the new Arcana skills and kind of like play the new Arcana changes. I'm excited to use the new skill Backflush. I think it's actually quite a bit better than Quadra Accelerate, but we'll see about that. Oh, also remember to save up gems, but you can also re-roll your gems, but you might need to change your gems, right, from Serendipity to 4 of a kind, so think about that as well. But I'm kind of excited for the new Arcana changes. Something that I want to talk about is we're kind of very in the dark with the pacing of the update and what's going to happen with it. The KR updates are live now on the Korean server. But when is that patch going to come to North America? Are we going to get the tripod changes with that same patch? Is it going to be before Kakul? Or is it going to be on at the same time as Kakul or after? Like, these questions are still in the air, right? So, I don't know. I think that's going to affect your decision making. my recommendation for you is if you're still at 4x3 on legendary engravings, I would do a lot of studying and maybe kind of like not commit to like a traditional barricade 5x3 relic accessory build. I would sit on your 4x3, I would sit on your barricade engraving for until that we know when that change is coming and then make your decision then. The only thing is if you have if you feel like you can part with the gold right now, if you're not in a rush honing your character or anything like that, then my recommendation is that you maybe consider investing in some things because there's a potential that prices will go up when the patch is actually announced, okay? So prices can change in that. Most notably, I would start collecting tripods, save them in your inventory, and then save those tripods in your stash as well, just in case you need to either sell them when the price goes up when that tripod rework is announced, or if, for example, Arcana changes come before and you need to use them as fodder because we don't have the new tripod system, then you at least have those pieces ready to go, right? So we're kind of in an uncomfortable spot right now. We're just gonna need to wait to see when they announce how fast we're gonna get these changes and how we're gonna kind of have these changes applied to us. So if you guys have any other questions specifically about Arcana stuff, about the changes and stuff like that, I can help where needed. Make sure you visit that Judao video. But I think that's about all I wanted to say about the KR updates. I tried to give you guys a shorter summary based on my research. But of course, in every video, we need to do Kundalanium, right? We need a damage check. What's the point of playing Arcana if you're not going to damage check your Arcana, right? Okay, here we are, Kundalanium. Now, as I've been doing Kundalanium, I've continued to try to keep good uptime, make sure that I'm cycling my ruin skills as best as I can, collect good card combos, and execute the card combo correctly in the heat of the moment, okay? So we'll see if we can do that. We have a pretty good party right now, but I think this Deathblade is going to do a lot of damage. He has a Bard, and they have a... Nice, we got Judgment and Twisted Fate. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Now, I could throw my Twisted Fate away. You know what? We're gambling, people. We're going to throw the Twisted Fate away, okay? See if we can draw a better card. Okay, so I kind of F'd that up early. I missed that card draw. That's really bad. So he's just running from it. Watch his jump. Oh, I got frozen. That's why. Going. Card draw. Balance is great. Dodge out of that. Spiral, spiral. Rain. Gotta draw a card. Nice. Judgment Call. It was so worth it. You see, guys, you just gotta gamble if you're an Arcana. Come back here. Now we have balance, so we can do that. Another rune skill out. Get that destruction. That. Bup, 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 bup. Use that. Okay. It's me pheromoning. Okay, so we have big damage, okay? Now, ideally, we Awakening and delay our card bomb until just before the Awakening hits so that we have time to do everything else, okay? So we're Awakening and we're doing ERA, okay? Or REA, really. Get this movement speed. Oh, get the Strength Ore for sure. Okay, stand on this side. Okay, we need to see what move he's doing here. Here we go. Awakening. Hard card. R-E-A. Nice. We'll use our star. I'm just gonna use Secret Garden without return now. Then we're waiting for our next return. We're gonna use double rain here. Wheel of Fortune. Rain again. There we go. We put him into reset. I may have missed the Bard buff actually because I delayed because I wasn't sure if I could land the combo cleanly, and that probably lost me a lot of damage. But I wasn't really paying attention to the Bard buff because I'm a bad player. But it's important that you coordinate with Bard buffs. Hopefully at least Heavenly Tune was on, but it's possible that it wasn't. Okay, so we got balance here. So I'm gonna Moon first, draw a card. Got star. I'm gonna activate balance here. Then we're gonna go here. Gonna try to get 3 ruin skills here. Gonna jump. That. Oh no, I got frozen by whoever that was. It was a gun lancer. So annoying. In here, make sure we don't get frozen. Do our card draw. That. Go this way. Draw a card. Get some uptime. Good counter. Draw cards. Oh, so this is a bit difficult to do. Because we want to use our Wheel of Fortune, but we also want to use our Royal. So we have to... Oh, the fight ends. So this card combo is really tough. Because you can do things where you use Wheel of Fortune and then Royal, see what cards you get. So I can actually show you this rotation here. But this is a very hard combo to do, especially if you want to go on your same return. Like... Yeah, it's tough because you could get Wheel of Fortune and Judgment, right? That's a possibility that you can get, right? So for example, I'm gonna do it really slow here, right? So we would put our stacks up, and then we would use Return, Wheel of Fortune, Royal, see what we get, and then we get nothing. So then we just go to our normal combo. But imagine a scenario where we had Wheel of Fortune, Royal, right? And then we use Return, Wheel of Fortune, and then Judgment pops up, right? That changes our rotation a lot, right? Because then we might consider using double Serendipity or double Rain or something like that, right? Rain, Seren, Secret. So there could be a lot of differences based on what card we draw, or we get Coal, right? Something like that, you know? So that's a very hard card combo to execute. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. And again, if you have any questions about Arcana or the updates that are coming through or anything like that, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them in the comments section or whatever. Or if you guys have any thoughts or things that you'd like to share, let me know. Because I love kind of hearing how you guys are feeling about everything. Okay, cool. So I will see you guys maybe next week in the video or on stream.